Hey y'all, welcome
Hi.
back to Knitting in Our Jeans. I'm Liz.
I'm Carolyn.
And you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as 2Liz for you, TOOLIZZFORYOU.
And I'm CPREDMOR on Ravelry and posting as Knitting in Our Jeans on Instagram, which I did a lot while we were gone.
Yeah.
Yes. So for those of you who didn't understand why we were quiet, my husband and I bought a boat this summer and we were off sailing in and around Newport, Rhode Island, and the bay that's there, whose name I can't remember at the moment.
Jamestown?
No, that's
Bristol?
not the bay. Narragansett Bay.
Narragansett.
And then down to Stonington and off to Block Island. We saw Block Island twice and Stonington twice. And next summer we're going to have a more linear route so that we can stop doing circles in the ocean. But it was a good longer shakedown cruise. And we've identified some things that needed to be fixed. One was the dinghy lift, and apparently that's what we're fixing tomorrow. So, and a comment aside, I'm obviously too old to be walking distractedly. The day before we left, I was holding the boat hook and trying to readjust it smaller. And as I walked toward the rear of the boat, I walked on the stern line because we had just come from the dock, and I fell down 3 steps and went from facing this way to facing this way on my butt, and then this hand came down on one of the set of steps, and I have now sprained the ligament that goes between these 2 fingers, so that's why my hand was clicking.
Oh, good.
Yes. So I have a new rule: do not readjust the boat hook when you are walking.
No.
And if there is a stern line down, pick it up first. Don't try to walk over it because you will miss and you will step on it. The boat actually has a lot of handholds. So
Yes, it does.
if I hadn't been holding the boat hook, which got caught in my shirt and then prevented me from being able to hold on to anything, I would have been fine. Anyway, I've been to see the doctor. He says it will heal, but it may take upwards of a year. But I also got an x-ray of my hand, and I found out why my thumb hurts. I actually have arthritis starting in the thumb.
Oh.
Not carpal tunnel, which I think is a good thing. I can just ignore arthritis. I saw the bone spur. Oh well. And we'll just keep going. I really thought it was carpal tunnel, and I was kind of working myself into an early surgery. And now that I know I'm not, I'm going, great, not a problem. So things are good. Yeah, we went sailing today. Rich went sailing yesterday with the boys. We went sailing with friends today. Boat is really doing quite well. I mean, obviously we do have things to fix. It's an 8-year-old boat, and things get fixed, and then other things aren't fixed, break, and that's the life of a boat. But
and I mean, like, I went and stayed with them at Labor Day, and I stayed on the boat.
Yes.
And I left Monday midday. Thinking as I did, because Monday night apparently it rained in my cabin.
Yes, it did.
Would have been on my head.
Yes, would have. We thought you dumped your water bottle.
No, I didn't bring my water bottle into
well,
bed
anyway,
with me.
so we're working on it. The hatches need to be
Resealed.
Something. I mean, your father says it's one of the later things to do. I just work on whatever we're told. Tomorrow is the dinghy lift because the part came in.
Good.
Yes, and with the dinghy lift repaired, then the use of the dinghy becomes easier. So that's good. We were so distraught at one point. We talked about selling the boat, but we've decided that we'll definitely keep it for one full season next year, and I think that will be all the difference. Instead of doing this wicked circle around Block Island. Anyway. I guess I should show you what I'm working on.
Yeah.
I am working on a hood to go with this sweater. Hold on. Obviously, it has not been blocked, but it is a cardigan for a little boy.
For the nephew.
For the nephew. I'll get it straight. So anyway, it's like this. At the back is better. because it has this lovely rib pattern up the back, and it's up the sides of the sleeves. and it is on the hood. Obviously, when this blocks, it won't be curled up like sausage. And so I started it, I think last Thursday, a week from Thursday, and I'm hoping to finish it maybe by this coming Thursday. So 2 weeks on a sweater. Because after I finish this, there'll be button bands, and Lizz was trying to guilt me into making a pocket for this sweater.
I am.
If I do make the pocket, it'll be knitted on. I'll pick up along the front and then knit up and at catching stitches on either side of the pocket.
He needs somewhere to put his things.
Rather than doing a separate pocket and then sewing it on later. I think it'll hold on better. And, you know, it's for a little kid, so that's important. The other thing I worked on while I was away, these are socks that Elizabeth had made, I think for yourself, and they were too short. And
well, I think they became too small.
They are merino socks, and I wore through the heels.
Yep.
And so on the boat, I had no worsted yarn, so first I tried darning them, which at least held the sock together. We got to Wickford, Rhode Island, and I bought some wool and silk thread, yarn, and I picked up around the heel and basically knit a new heel. This one worked out well. This one I did not do as many rows, and it's a little short, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out. I still have the yarn, and I will do a bigger heel. But I actually like the idea of re-knitting a heel and fixing a heel rather than doing all the darning. What can I tell you?
Well, I mean, you also weren't wearing those in shoes. Those were evening socks.
These are night socks. These are my slippers.
Yeah.
Yes.
They were boat slippers. They were not to wear inside of shoes.
But I think if you re-knit them,
too much bulk.
I think if you re-knit them, then you're just replacing the hole. There was a huge hole here.
I did not see how big the hole was because you had already...
ginormous. My entire heel was through it. So I basically remade the heel. What I did here was I made the heel for a child instead of my own foot. So I will, after I finish Aiden's sweater, will fix that heel.
What is the pattern name of Aiden's?
Okay. It is a rowing pattern. It's called Hazel. And isn't that a cute little kid? I saw that and I said, I think that's Aiden. Well,
yeah. No.
Aiden's size.
Yeah.
So, I thought that would be perfect. And his mom likes knitted things. So, I got this color because I thought it was a good kind of neutral color. Would go with a lot of different outfits. That way, he's not locked into something. And I like the fact that there was a hood on the sweater, so he doesn't need a separate hat. Can't lose a separate hat.
I mean, he's a real cute hat kid, but the hood provides the warmth required while also not having a separate
thing
item
to lose.
Yeah.
Yes. I have buttons, but they're downstairs. I did buy grosgrain ribbon, so I bought brown. I bought kind of an ecru, and I have a black. The black was just for me to have, but I'm going to decide which I like better. I actually think I like the taupe better. So I have the taupe grosgrain to do on the underside of the button bands. One side to hold the buttons on, and the other side to stabilize the buttonholes. So I think I've got all the pieces for the sweater. So that's good. So yes, if you're thinking of making things for Christmas, it is now time to get started. Yes. What would you like to talk about?
Well, I went, and I was traveling last weekend, and we were doing a lot of driving, and I thought I was going to have an almost finished sweater to show you all. Unfortunately, there was some stressful points in it. In the trip, and I managed to snap a size 5 needle. That is a size 5 needle. These are also the interchangeable Knitter's Pride Dreams. This is my very first interchangeable set. and I've snapped them.
I had snapped one of their signatures, a size 8.
Of the
Interchangeable
signatures. Not Knitter's Pride.
They are made by Knitter's Pride.
Oh.
Yes.
But yeah, I snapped a 5, so I've ordered a new tip, but I couldn't get this one. I had to get the one that has the metal tip in with the wood shaft, I guess. So that should hopefully come next week.
Okay.
And then
you were able to save your knitting?
Yes, I was able to save my knitting because I ended up having this, what is it called?
Plastic.
No, it is called Pearl Strings. It's from Minnie and Pearl. A friend of mine gave them to me. I have 3 different sizes. There's the starter, or the sweater plus pack. I guess it's 1 2.5 meter piece and then 2 1 meter pieces. So I took it off of, because I couldn't find any stoppers in my bag either for the interchangeable. So I decided to take it fully off. So this is the Center Point Popover by Pearl Soho. I have done the front, I have done the back, and I've connected them, and I have like, I think it's, where's my marker? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm supposed to do 10 repeats. So I have 8 and 1 row. Mm-hmm. So I have a total of, I think, 7 rows to go until the next step. So once I get the needle, hopefully I will get back to this, because I think the next step is picking up for the sleeves, but at that point I will also probably put the back neck, which will be a hood, onto one of these pearl strings and actually try it on, because I can't get it over my head with the needle holder, with the stitch holder I have in it. But I had 2 very long drives, and I was like, yeah, let's go, let's do it. I was doing real well, and then that happened. But one never travels with only one project, now do we? So, I had my brioche that you all have not seen because it was a secret test, and it has just been released.
That is
so
pretty.
This is the Hento by Meiju KP, and this is, I think it's this way. So I picked it up. I had put this down a while ago because it just wasn't growing fast enough because it is single color brioche. So for every row you do 2 passes, which takes a while. And it is gorgeous. I'm knitting it out of my
forgot.
It's a cephalopod. It's Ghost Moth. That's what it is, from Cephalopod Yarns.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Which is some Cold Dead Hands yarn I have had for a while. So that's a full skein.
Cephalopod's been out of business.
And it's extremely opalescent. I just love it. I think it's one of the most beautiful things, like colorways I have. And I had a beautiful gray. I have a beautiful silvery gray mohair I'm holding with it. And it's turning out to be what I think will be a very wearable sweater. So I have about 1 inch to go on the brioche body. And then it's a 2-inch rib for the band. So then once that is done, then I will go on to the sleeves.
Okay. So
I didn't, because it's a shorter length body, because it is so oversized, I mean, you can see it's going to be big. And also, if you look, I mean, the pattern, it's meant to be oversized.
Yes, it is.
So it's going to look beautiful. I think it'll be a really great piece. I'm hoping, now that I actually have some momentum on it, to have it done. I'm hoping to have this and the popover done for Rhinebeck. So we'll see. But yeah, I was really glad to have this because it's on size 10s, and there's no way in heck I'm going to be able to snap size 10s.
Nope.
But it was really nice to be able to have something else to knit on.
Yes.
We were going to dinner, and so it was very funny because people we met were like, that's something different than what you were knitting before. And I was like, yes, it is. Yes, it is. I snapped that, and my boyfriend was like, yeah, it was terrifying. I wasn't sure that she was going to, like, not kill someone. I was like, yeah, because that's the first time I've ever done that.
I usually break 1s, 2s, and sometimes 3.
Right.
I did break, I had an 8 break. The 8 broke actually in my bag going from school back to home, and I think it just got jammed in. I have broken a 5 in my hand. So I've broken several. I obviously hold my needles under a great deal of stress. I haven't broken any lately. I'm retired. I have less stress.
Less stress.
Except I fall on boats.
Yeah.
Oh well. As I said, I've been to the expert and Dr. Laine. So someone that we've dealt with over the years. Anything else you want to talk about that sweater?
No, I'm really pleased with the progress on both of them. I was really hoping to have more progress for y'all, but that's what happens.
Okay, so I had one of these 2 socks in my drawer, probably this one, and it lost its mate. So on the boat, I made another one.
Nice.
It's a slightly different color, but it's
and a slightly different shape.
Yes, but it's close enough because now I make them so if you fold them, they're equal size.
Yeah.
I used to skimp on my socks. So yeah, it's a slightly different pattern, but you know what? Now I have 2 gray socks, both wool. They will keep my feet warm. Good. And something in our bedroom eats socks. Because my matrix socks that had the skulls on it, I got them out of the dryer or up from downstairs, put them on my dressing table, and it's gone. Just gone. Yep. Borrowers, yes. So then, while I was gone, I get notes from Pearl Soho. I'm sure all of us do. And they were talking about this Hollyhock wrap. Let's see if I can get this. Yeah. And we have friends of ours, and it actually has baubles on it. So I can't believe I decided to do this. But we have friends of ours who we see at Thanksgiving, and we actually do our Christmas holiday giving of gifts. And they said to use, I just closed it.
I know.
Sweetgrass. It's undyed, and I bought for her the undyed organic cotton and superfine alpaca, which is from Peru, made in Peru, and she's Peruvian. So I think this will be really nice. So I'm going to finish Aiden's sweater. Next I will work on Aiden's sister's birthday present because I think that's in and around Thanksgiving.
It's a month after.
Thanksgiving?
No, it's a month after Aiden's.
Right. So the 22nd. All right. So she's before
21st.
Thanksgiving.
The 21st.
I'm going to make her a hat. I'm thinking aviatrix because I think it's really cute.
It is very cute.
And then after that, a Hollyhock wrap will go on the needles and get that done. And I have no problem with the idea of pushing it because now that I know it's not carpal tunnel, it's not a nerve problem, it's a bone problem. We'll just wear that bone away. I'll do that. Meanwhile, I got 4 for myself. I'm not going to make myself a Hollyhock wrap. I will make myself another cotton alpaca sweater because I've got 1,760 yards of this. It's more than enough for a sweater. And I think it's light enough, but it'll be good for coolish days on the boat. So we asked the group here which color would be good for me. They said this would be good for me. Where's the other color? Yeah.
It looks, you turn yellow.
Oh, do I? Okay.
Yes.
will be good for Denise. So this will be mine. And I don't know what I'm going to make out of this because I'm still working on the Christmas presents. Then we signed up for the WestKnits surprise or mystery knit.
MKAL.
I make up names, as you all know.
The WestKnits MKAL for
So
2022.
I went stash diving and I got these out. This is my pop color. And I bought this several years ago at Vogue, right, from Backstreet.
Backyard.
Backyard Fiberworks, lovely women. But honestly, I've never seen a place where I could actually use this. And then I had these, and this is Countess Ablaze. God bless her little heart. And I got these through Indie Untangle, I believe.
Maybe.
Or I may have ordered them directly from her. Anyway, I had this in my stash. So then I went to our local yarn store, Knit, in Roslyn, New York, and found these. So now I have these two main colors, which is what he says, two main colors, and I have this pop. And the pop, I think, goes with both of them really nicely. So if you signed up for the MKAL from WestKnits, it's time to go stash diving or get yourself to the yarn store in order to find your 5 skeins, because the first pattern comes out, I think, October 6th.
I think so.
Something like that. So that's the week before Rhinebeck.
That is the week before Rhinebeck.
Right. As I said, we will be at Rhinebeck. We'll be working at Indie Untangled. So if you have tickets to Indie Untangled, I hope you stop by and say hi.
See us.
Yes, you will see us. We're going to be there the day before, getting things organized. We're going to be staying with friends. One of our friends has managed to find an Airbnb. We had hotel reservations, and I will always make hotel reservations
the moment that they are available,
which is November, because I always want to back up. But where she got an Airbnb is closer to the event than the hotel, so she had room, and we said, yes, can we stay with you? So I'm looking forward to that. So we'll have to make a list of the stuff that we need, the food and stuff that we need to buy. And let's see, I have decided to try to lose weight again. What a surprise. And I got on the scale this morning and I'd lost 5 pounds.
Nice.
Yes, I've stopped my midnight sandwiches.
That's a good,
good thing.
That'll help.
I also have removed bread from my lunch.
Okay.
Yes. And so, it seems to be helping. I'm also trying to make sure with my watch that I'm moving 500 calories a day.
Okay.
And getting my exercise in. So I started back with my stretching exercises and walking yesterday, and today on the boat I managed to get a whole 30 minutes of exercise. Not a surprise. Between getting rid of the mooring and picking up the mooring and running around and doing our anti-seagull flagging and roping and climbing up. It's like a jungle gym. I managed to get the exercise in, which is excellent. So, yeah, I am glad we didn't go and sell the boat in a moment of despair.
I never thought you were going to be serious about that. Both of you need to have a full... We do. We need to have a boat. I need to have a boat because I realized if we sold the boat and I was here in this suburban area, I'd become massively depressed. So we need the boat. We will make it work. And I think part of the problem this summer was we are still fixing things and don't have it quite up to the snuff that we'd like to have it up to. And like this last trip, you decided to go very quickly. So you didn't really, that wasn't a we're going to go, you didn't know 2 months in advance so you could make all your mooring plans.
No, we did not have mooring reservations, and I really do like having mooring reservations or dock reservations. I have to say our docking ability is primo.
It is.
We are really good at docking, and so I think that we'll maybe be using more docks next summer. And the reason that's good is because we have a generator, and with shore power, we can run the generator constantly or a lot. And you know, if the weather's anything like this past summer, that means we'll be able to run the air conditioner, which is great.
Yeah.
And then if it's cold, we can run the heater.
Yeah.
So that would be good. We've got a couple things that so anyway, I think we'll be much better next summer. Much better. And I'm every day I'm glad we decided not to sell it. So that's good.
Yeah.
Anything else, my dear?
I don't think so. I think that's about it. I've been the last month I've been trying to get those two things, I'm trying to get these two things done, and
So I said
I did cut out a dress downstairs, and
yes. I'm not cutting out any dresses until I get through this weight thing. The cardiologist says I really need to lose a certain amount of weight. He wants me by my next birthday to be 35 pounds less than I am now. Because he says, then you'll go into your 70s in great health. I went, okay. He's such a cutie. He is such a cutie. I made a comment to Lauren about someone wanted to make sure that we were staying active, and she texted me back going, they don't know how much you will do. and in fact, probably not tonight, but maybe tomorrow night, we'll be making reservations to go out to Sedona again.
Well, and that's the funny part is, like, everyone at work does, like, until recently did not realize that my parents will be 70 next year, because, and then they're like, well, and they didn't realize that, and then, because I'm always concerned when you're doing major crossings or major, like, moves, and I track you on the, you know, and everyone's like, well, you know, you look worried, what's up? And it's usually, oh, I'm just tracking my parents, they, you know, it's a long trek they've got today for the boat.
Oh, going up New Jersey.
Going up Jersey, well, like, bringing the boat up from Maryland, and then anytime, like, you're coming back, you know, especially if you're crossing the Sound, I like to keep an eye on you, you know, just little things.
That's right. And when she went out to Ohio, I kept an eye on her.
Right. So it's very funny because everyone's like, oh, but they're fine. And I'm like, yes, they are. But they are also almost 70. And God forbid something happens, I would like to at least, you know, have an eye on it. And they're like, oh, wait, what? Like, run that by me one more time? I'm like, yeah, I know.
So anyway, we are planning to go to Sedona. We're hoping to go for about 10 days because it's great hiking. And the hiking last year was fabulous. I am not doing any off-roading. Well, actually, if we go by ourselves, we will probably get a Jeep, and we will probably do the off-road to the trailhead. We will not do the off-roading for hours on end.
Right.
Which shook loose my back last year. But I have no problem with the idea of going off-roading for a mile, 2 miles to get to the trailhead, because very few people actually rent those vehicles, and therefore there's parking available, and you can get to the trailhead because these trails are really popular, and we don't get up that early. So yes, if you got up at 7 a.m. and got out immediately, it wouldn't be a problem, but Richard and I don't do that
anymore.
No.
Well, you could do it.
I could, but I don't want to. It's a vacation. So we are talking about, there's a Marriott, a Residence Inn there, and so I think we will just make reservations at the Residence Inn there for 10 days or so, and we'll go hiking. And I already told Rich, I said I plan to hike a mile and a half in, then you can go ahead and I'll sit there and read a book. I'll have a book loaded on my phone. And then you can come back, pick me up, and we'll go out.
Nice.
You know? So we'll do that. We also have 2 magazines here. I've got Interweave Knits.
And we've got a pom-pom.
Huh?
We've got Interweave Knits and a pom-pom.
Oh, and a pom-pom. I'm looking at it. I don't see a pom-pom. So it says a spectrum of fun. Knit the rainbow with painting shawls. So, that's by Stephen West. So flip through bright pages and learn new techniques to master your shawl knitting. I'm telling you, if you take a class with him, he just says knit, turn it 90 degrees or turn it 60 degrees, just try something, and you'll never know what you might come up with. he really tries to support you with making your own patterns. So really cool. Then they have an article about the fiber mill. So apparently it looks like 3 women who work at the fiber mill. We've got Kelsey Patton, owner and spinning master at the fiber mill. And then they have mill worker and pin drafting specialist, and then a wool sorter. And it looks like great fun. Kelsey got started on this when she was 13 years old and raised a goat for 4-H.
Nice.
You never know where things are going to go. I like this sweater. It's called Apricity Pullover.
Nice.
I think it's very nice. It has very interesting bell-like sleeves down here, but then they come to a tight cuff, which I actually like because otherwise I find that the open-ended bells catch on things, and I have enough trouble in getting through doorways with my clothes getting caught on them. And I think that that's a really pretty sweater. It separates over the hip. So you've got a longer back than the front and a separation there. I think it would be really comfortable. Then they've got the Pace Coast tam, multicolor.
Nice, nice.
I think I am giving up most of my color work. It hurts my hands too much. So
those are nice.
Then these are Rutalant socks by Anna Zuraleva. These are pretty. These are lacy. You know me and lace. I will never do another Estonian lace because it's just too tiny for my hands. But there's always another lace. And then they've got a plaid jacket, which is fascinating.
It is.
So this is called the Bronte jacket. Isn't that something to conjure with? I love that.
Yeah, it's plaid.
That's lovely. I know color work. What can I tell you?
I mean, it's not color work. It's stripes and then probably a slip stitch pull.
I haven't read the instructions. This is this is called the anabatic hat.
That is pretty.
And it's very pretty. Very geometric. I won't be making it, but I think that someone wanted to make it for me. It would be lovely. But I'm not casting any things out there. This is interesting.
Yeah.
But here's a large cuff sweater that would not be good for me. I'd have to make it a little longer and then close that cuff in. But I like the patterning on the sweater. That, I think, is very nice. It shows a very slimming waist. Very pretty. Then they go into patterns. And there is more. I think we should talk about the fact I cleaned up the knitting room.
You did. You cleaned it up. It looks very good. I'm very impressed.
I got the stuff that fell out of the drawer over there.
Wow.
Then they have an article on steeking and fearless steeking. I don't have a problem with steeking. It's then how do you finish off the steeked edge to make it nice. Amy actually knits like a button band onto it. She does a purl row and then does like a button band to cover that cut edge, which does make it very nice, but it's just something you should plan on when you are doing your button band. The stitches will not unravel if you properly supported them, and they show here how you can stitch. If you can see that orange line there, there's hand stitching. You can either crochet or hand stitch.
Or machine stitch.
Or machine stitch to secure it, and it will not ravel. I've done that. Now, you should use sticky yarn. That was one thing that Amy talked about. Cool Nights. Here is a really pretty cardigan with a belt. How many of us make cardigans without buttons, but then need some way to close them? So very nice. What's this called? Susurros cardigan. And a slouchy hat. This, I don't know, this kind of speaks to me.
Yeah.
I think it's a color.
Yeah.
But really pretty. From one angle, it looks like the universe. And the other angle, it looks like it's flowers. And this is called the Surimi slouchy hat. I think it's very nice. Now this is a sweater I had folded over the espalier pullover, which I would have thought would have had details on the shoulder for the espalier, but instead it is a cable knit.
Yeah. With
cables front and back.
Mm-hmm.
Plain sleeves, which means less of sleeve island, which will be nice. Bimble socks.
These are so cute. I just think they're so cute.
They are adorable. Very, very pretty. Texture and color work. I don't know.
But they're socks.
They're socks, so it's not going to be forever. Might make them stronger.
Yeah.
So that's an idea. This is Ramulose pullover. I have to say I'm not enamored of the colors, but I really do like the patterns. So obviously, luckily with knitting, you can decide what colors you want. So I think that it's very nice. It's like a rib. It's like a rib all the way up.
But I can't tell if it's a rib or if it's a broken. It might be a broken rib or a brioche even. Because you see, it's not really a. It's
stripes mixed with vertical texture. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it's an oversized fit, so it's scrumptious for the winter time. So anyway, I do want to say, if we have anybody watching from Canada that's on the East Coast, make yourself safe for Fiona, who's coming up the coast. This may be the first time in a long time you all have had some hurricane-type weather, and hurricanes can be ferocious. We generally get a hurricane a year here, and certainly we were inundated with Sandy. The damage can be ferocious, so please take heed of any warnings that people give you. So this is the new pom-pom, and let's go through. A gracious plenty. Oh, this is pretty. Look at that. The Balmui pullover, and they have it in. They showed two different color choices, kind of a beigey and then this blue-gray. I like the blue-gray. What can I tell you? And here's the other one. So it's a yoke type of sweater, so it looks like it's going to be an oversized sweater, and I think it could be quite comfortable. Or you can make it not that oversized. But I think it's very pretty, so it's something to consider. Then this is called the Winnow cardigan, which actually looks like it has flowers or wheat sheaves on it for the cabling. I think that is, and it's all over. I love a pattern that continues all over. You bring such appeal to the eye. She said it, yes, a wheat motif. The designer's inspiration came from her desire to employ the wheat motif as a representation of the hidden, laborious work standing behind its very existence, much like the process of knitting. Then here is the MKAL beret, which makes me smile. So there's the two-color one, and then they've got a solid color one, and I think that's something that would be so cute with your winter coat. I just think it's adorable. So that's here. Here's the Polonia pullover, and color work galore. I don't think I'll be doing this one. But the good thing is that the pattern work goes front and back, and as I said, I do like that. Then this is the Oxen shawl.
It's very pretty.
This is very pretty. Extremely pretty. Look at that. Ah, that is wonderful. Leaves that change into jewel tone colors are the ultimate autumnal symbol. And so she is glorying in this natural phenomenon with an all-over foliate pattern. So all over leaves. Epic pullover.
It's on the cover.
Yes, it's the one that's on the cover, and they show it in two colors. I think that's really terrific.
It is very pretty.
Yes, and it's a longer sweater, or you can make it into a longer sweater. Oh, bug. Oh, there, it's dead. Okay, good, thank you.
It did not just smack my mother for no reason. There was a bug, and it is now dead.
There we go. I think it's a really pretty pattern. Look at those socks. Now
Those are fun.
These look like fun. Look at that. And these are
good use of minis.
Yes. Oh, good point. Kumiko socks. Look like a mosquito.
It did look like a mosquito. That's why I got it.
And a different color pattern. So, what would be interesting with the minis is you'd have two separate colored socks.
Or, I don't know. You'd have to see.
Yeah. This is called the Gramercy cardigan.
It's very pretty.
I like it. I like it a lot. I think it has a lot of eye interest. I find I want kind of beigey cardigans to be able to go with anything and throw it over anything, but after I make them, I don't like them. But I'm thinking that something that may be an off-white, but that has interest would be different enough for me to really like it. So that is just pages and pages of looking at it.
That's pretty.
This is pretty. This is called the Maya. And again, it is a sweater that has patterning front and back. Really very, very nice. In ancient Roman mythology, Maya is considered the goddess of growth and plenty. So this is designed with generous ease, as you can see. And again, something to
Cuddle into?
Cuddle into, yes. The Campion pullover, color work. Massive color work. All over. So you've got your total yoke. I think it's very pretty. Very, very pretty. This is autumn materializes differently all over the world, but in the Arctic, the flora wilts, the snow returns, and the northern lights and sunsets are spectacular. So this is evocative of that. Very nice. We have the Oriole beret or beanie. This is pretty.
It is very pretty.
That is gorgeous. I love the patterning on that. And how it looks at the crown. That is really very, very pretty. And then we go into ads. We've got abundance and lack. They wanted you to think about the garments you pair with your handmade clothing, fast fashion versus slow fashion. And I was sitting and thinking, well, yeah, except that most of my clothes I've kept for decades.
Which is what she also talks about. I mean, I follow her on Instagram, the author, and she speaks of clothes that you've had for years are a different thing than, things that you're buying just to wear for that season. It's being more conscious of what you're buying and just making sure you are wearing them to...
Yes. However,
but
if I lose those 35 pounds,
right.
I get a whole new wardrobe.
Okay.
Because 35 pounds from now, everything is going to be oversized. Okay. So I think it depends on your individual life needs. And yes, fast fashion, I think, is wasteful. I mean, Forever 21 has a reputation of being inexpensive, but things tend to fall apart. I've often thought that you could spend more and have an article of clothing that lasts for a very long time. And I'll give you for instance, I bought a navy blue blazer at Lord & Taylor's for $60 one summer. So it was a light blazer. And it fell apart by the end of the summer. The next year I dropped a couple $100 on a blazer. And I had the blazer up until 3 years ago. So in terms of the money spent per use... Did you
donate it, or did you...
It fell apart.
It fell apart.
I wore it out.
But you bought it over 10 years ago.
Oh, I bought it over 30 years ago.
Then, yeah.
So I think if you look at the cost per use...
Yes.
My Lord & Taylor blazer was much more expensive than the other blazer.
Right, and that's part of what she talks about in her other pieces as well. And that is a thing that she wants people to think about.
Okay, we've done that. Okay, Stitching Magic, embroidery, and enigmatic embroidered textiles. And it's interesting what she's embroidered on that glove. So, she has had a love for embellishments, and so she's got all kinds of different things. And certainly you know that we're thrilled with counting cross stitch and a bunch of different things. So then they give you a recipe for cookies, or what they call winnow biscuits with blue icing, royal icing, which is going to be very hard icing. It has quite a bit of body to it because it's made with a lot of egg whites. And so you're going to get these crisp designs, very crisp designs, and it inspired by a wheat motif. So apparently there's a wheat motif going through this, and they're showing how to mark out your wheat motifs. I'm sure they're delicious. I will not be making them. I shouldn't be going near cookies. In fact, what I'm having for dessert these days are 3 Oreo minis. They're that big. So I haven't cut out cookies entirely, but I have cut back. All right, and then we go into the patterns, and
I think it's another great pom-pom mission.
I agree with you, and I think with the wheat focus and the leaf focus, they are holding true to the idea of autumn, which I think is really neat. Oh, and the other thing I bought while we were at Block Island, I wandered into the boat store at the Oar, which is where the yacht basin is, and I found this, paint by numbers, and it showed boats on it. And yes, it is a canvas paint by numbers with acrylic paints and a very large size paint by number canvas. I'm going to roll this up now. I'm actually probably going to work on this on the dining room table. Or I may work outside on the picnic table outside.
Yeah.
While it is still warmish out. I told Elizabeth I think I'm going to start with the white first, and then go to darker color, darker color, darker color. Here they have, again, the colors, and yet they have the colored numbers on the canvas. So I guess
it's in case you screwed up or, you know.
So, anyway, it should be fun, and this was in the adult toy section. I love that. It says, send us your pictures and try your luck at winning $100 of paint by numbers. Well, they could send me more of these.
Yeah.
Did you remember when we won the Crayola stuff?
No.
Crayola Crayons was having a contest, and they said, create your own Mother's Day card. You were 5 years old.
Okay.
And you made a Mother's Day card for me, and we sent in the picture, and we won $100 worth of Crayola products. Oh! Yes, you had the magic,
the clay
and markers, and washable markers, and 64 color crayon. It was a riot, but apparently there weren't that many 5-year-olds that sent in their artwork, so we won. Hey. We followed the rules and we won. That was great.
Yes.
So, other than that, I think
that's about it.
I have a lot of ends to weave in on that sweater.
Yeah.
But it should hopefully be finished by next week. And I can report progress on something else, on the aviatrix hat. That would be nice. Do we know if she has a favorite color?
I don't know. You should text him.
I should text and see if she has a favorite color. I bet I may have one up there. It's certainly a one skein hat.
Oh, yeah.
So that would be nice to make for her birthday. And we'll see what else we get involved with. I don't think we're going away next weekend. Are you going away next weekend?
I've got a concert and Cass is coming down.
Ah, okay. We were going away next weekend. But then your father's dental school reunion got canceled. Apparently,
Oh.
only 4 couples responded.
So, you, Mendel's, okay. Nice.
It was going to be in someone's backyard. I don't understand why they canceled. I mean, 4 couples, we could have been a group of 10, but whatever. They canceled it, so we're not going to be anyway next weekend.
Oh, boo.
Oh, well. Oh, well. And anything else? That's about it.
What's the reunion? 45?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 45-year reunion, and they didn't get any interest. We had someone call us and say, it's really good if you would come. And I thought it was in Florida. I said, I don't want to fly to Florida for a cookout.
Right.
Then I was told it was in Maryland. I went, I can drive to Maryland for a cookout. I'm a pushover, obviously, for a cookout. So, but it got canceled, so we're not going. We'll probably go down sometime during the next week and go see Nana for a day or two. And because then the following weekend we're at Rhinebeck.
Yep.
And I hope to see you all there.
Yeah.
So that's about it.
So we will talk again soon.
Yes, bye.
Bye, y'all.